The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
There are certain things that bring rage to the surface of a normal Australian.
Yeah.
And that is bins. Wheelie bins in particular.
Wheelie bins.
Yeah, Shaun.
I'm
It's still a
feeling it,
piece
mate.
of your property. You've still got ownership
Yeah,
over it.
that's
You know
true.
what I mean? It's your business what goes in those bins. And there's a chick on TikTok. Her name is Brooke. She caused a bit of a stir Australia-wide. She lives in Port Macquarie, and she was asking the question of whether what she was doing was illegal or wrong. And that is the fact that she, in the dead of night, she says, goes out and she puts her rubbish in other people's bins.
So presumably her bin is full and she's got to offload the rubbish on bin night. So
she doesn't want anyone to see her, so she waits until it's dark and then she hits the
which
streets.
suggests she knows it's morally wrong.
This is the thing about her, right? Because people blew up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
She said she even got interviewed by Yahoo, and Yahoo said she said that her own lovely neighbours didn't have an issue with her behaviour, but that wasn't the case for everyone. If your neighbours didn't have an issue with you doing it,
do it in the daytime.
Why are you doing it in the dark of night when no one can see you? I think that was a little bit of a fib.
Yes.
Anyway, so I was wondering, your bin's out in the street. Do you care?
Personally, I don't.
I don't know.
And I'm one of those people who have chucked stuff in the neighbour's bin, for
Have
sure.
you?
Yeah,
Of course
100%.
you would be.
I've thought about it, but I've
Mate,
never
I would
done
be
it.
surprised if you went into someone's house and put it in their kitchen bin.
Give that a go tonight.
Your neighbours, the things your neighbours put up with from
I
you.
tell you
But
what
they-
I see a lot of, because when I walk the dog, it's a public park where there are bins, and people wheel in, they drive into the car park, pull up next to the bin, leave the car running, get out and dump their household waste in the public bin, and it's often really stinky seafood stuff.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
and they're not factoring in, like, those bins are collected on a Monday. They're doing this like on a Thursday. It's like there's then 3 or 4 days of that sitting in the sun in a stinky public bin.
Around
That's
Christmas,
gross.
that
Oh, it's
happens all the
revolting.
time.
I really thought that the consensus was going to be, if it's out in the street, it's fine. Which apparently the council says isn't fine. You should always have a conversation with your neighbours before using their bin, because just because it's out there, that's not like a green light saying if it's hit the curb, it's free for all. But these people that were commenting,
Furious.
My neighbour does this in the dead of night, and it drives me nuts, only because they don't give a rat's about which bin they dump their trash into when they're contaminating our recycling. Trash neighbours.
Oh, okay.
This one
Well,
here.
you've got to be responsible. If you
You do, you've got to put it in the
recycling
right
goes in the
thing.
recycling bin.
For
That's
sure.
just
I had a
common
neighbour
sense.
put stuff in my bin and it was asbestos. That's not right. 2 of my neighbours try to do this. Unfortunately for them, I go to work at 6 a.m, so I simply remove it and put it behind their bins. Sometimes it gets taken. Other times they end up with it for another week. Our neighbours shove their rubbish into our bins and pack them so tight that they won't slide out when they're emptied. Now I've taken to throwing their rubbish bags back over the fence into their front yard.
Oh, that-
They won't stop, and neither will I.
So that neighbourly relationship's going well.
And this person says that they're really upset with their neighbour because their neighbour keeps on contaminating their rubbish with old fish heads and KFC.
Oh, well, we're not into that because we know what the outcome is there. But some people might think it's okay to just go out there and put it
Like
in.
that
We've heard a
once-
lot of people go
Once
against
it hits the verge, is it open slaver?
My thing is,
Well,
if you're waiting
not
until
putting-
the dead of night, into the dark of night, you know you're doing something wrong. If you're
But
doing
also-
it in broad daylight, it's not. You know what I mean?
But that's when people put their bins out. So they put them out in the evening. Do you know what I mean? They're not there in the
Well,
morning.
in our area we don't.
Yeah.
I'll put mine out today.
Oh. Most people put them
yeah,
out
put
in the
them in the
evening.
afternoon.
After they get home from work, they'll
Yeah.
put them out. So there's an evening thing.
Well, today in
Yeah.
our
No,
area
I
there are
sneak
so
out.
many bins around. But if you're waiting till the dark of night,
I
and
do.
people they're waiting till the dark of night because what you're doing, even though you think your neighbours is fine, you think it's wrong.
And you know what the funny thing is? When you're out in the street and you're doing that, you do tiptoe. And what's the point of that?
Well, it is. You're sneaking.
I know,
You're
because you know what
sneaking
the
around.
point? Because everybody can hear this music playing anyway. They
They
know
do.
you're at the
It's
front.
going in your head. Guys, we're going to open up the phones to bins.
And all of Sean's neighbours, obviously.
Yeah, you've got a problem. Let us know. It's Megan's fault.
We wanted to
just say
talk
that.
about bin etiquette when the bin situation at your place filled you with rage. We want to see if we agree with your anger and we might side with you. Hi, Simone.
Oh, hi, how are you?
Good.
Simone.
I can't believe I'm on. I can't believe I'm live.
I can't believe I'm
right.
live. Now, that's it. Say something to get us off the air.
Now, Simone, where do you stand on putting stuff in other people's bins?
After I've been hearing you guys say it, I feel a little bit bad because I'm a culprit and I do it in the middle of the night as well. And I love that Panther music.
Is that because your bins are full or you get rid of smelly
Yeah.
stuff?
Yeah.
like we're
Dumping a
talking
body.
about?
What are you doing?
No. just because it's full. So there's just me and my 10-year-old daughter. So I don't really have, I wouldn't have thought I'd have a lot of rubbish, but we just, seem to pile it up. And so, yeah, in the middle of the night, I always make sure there's like a big, like it's in a really thick bag so it doesn't, spill out.
You're responsible. You're responsible. Yes, I get that. But which house do you go to? Is it the next door neighbours? Is it over the road?
Or do you spread it around?
Yeah, well, I used to go to one neighbour, and then I realised they had a security camera. That's really bad.
She's wearing camo at the
You know what? When you have to put a balaclava to do it on, there's one thing being sneaky, but that's taking it a step too far.
And ever since I saw the camera, they were away that weekend, and I thought, I'll be right. I'll just put a bin out and I'll put mine in. And then I saw the camera, and then I was like, oh shit, they're not gonna, they're gonna like not talk to me.
You've burnt them. Wow. Okay.
Simone, have you just got one big green bin? Or have you got all the different ones?
I've got all the different ones, but the red one that you can put normal junk in is really
It's
tiny.
small.
So,
Yeah, same with us.
And they've done that to encourage recycling, but it doesn't stop how much, stuff
No,
that you
it
normally
doesn't.
get. I drove past, and tell me now, I drove past a purple bin the other day, bright purple. What's that?
Don't know.
I don't
Don't know what. Where were you?
It was in a business area, so maybe it was something like...
like hardware stuff of sorts.
But why would a
So
hammer need
metals
why does metal need another bin?
Well, you're not going to put that
There
in
was
the
a
general waste.
hairdresser
Maybe
there.
they can recycle that.
Would it be hair?
It would depend what council it was, I think. Yeah.
If anyone knows what
anybody
the
knows
bright
about the
purple bin is, let us know.
Thanks, Simone. Alex, hello.
Hi.
Hey, Alex.
Alex, what are your thoughts on bin etiquette?
Just, if it's your own rubbish, put it in your own bin, unless you've got a neighbour that you've spoken to.
Yeah.
Like, my neighbour across my road, she asked me because her bin's full, and I'm like, yeah, sure. But mine, I've got a camera, so it picks up on anyone walking past, and I've had someone put their doggy bag full of poo in my bin.
You can't do
that's
that.
not
That's
cool.
not fair.
That's not cool.
So we can put rubbish in, but bags of poo, no.
I think take that home to your own bin or find a public bin.
Yeah.
Don't put that in somebody else's bin.
Yeah. Or
Yeah,
just
that's-
fling
Just
it
be
onto their
classy
roof.
about it.
They won't
Yeah,
say,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
fine.
I mean, that's your
I mean,
bin.
how often do you go to your roof?
Thanks, Alex.
point, Nat.
Regan, hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Hey,
Good,
Regan.
Regan. What's your take on it all?
So I used to run a bin cleaning business. Yeah, and anyways, I used to post my videos on TikTok, and it used to get quite a fair viewing.
Yeah.
Then I had another bin business message that account, and they told me that I'm causing toxic waste to the environment because I was putting the soapy, dirty water down the drain. Now, he then started sending me death threats.
What?
Yeah, and apparently I was taking his business away from him and causing harm to the environment. I used to make sure that everything was out the bin before I would flush, let's say I would wash the bin.
Yeah.
And yeah, he got crazy and started sending me death threats. But the first ever message I received from him, he was trying to sell me his bin trailer. And I just think he got annoyed because I wouldn't buy his bin trailer off him.
So who knew that there was like a massive feud in the bin cleaning world?
So he was a
Yeah.
competing business
Yes.
as well, obviously, then,
Yes.
Regan.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was.
Okay, and he wanted you to buy his bin trailer. You said no, and then he started these attacks on how you are single-handedly destroying the planet with your bin cleaning.
Yeah, absolutely. That
But
was
with
it.
more death threats.
Yeah, with death threats and threats saying that he's going to contact a lawyer and all this lot. And it got a bit much, so I ended up closing the business down.
Oh, so he drove you out of the bin cleaning world?
Yeah, sort of, but also I didn't want to clean bins the rest of my life.
Well, I would have thought that would have been
That's
the
true.
reason.
Yeah, that's another major factor.
Wow. Was his name Osama bin Laden? Because he sounds like a bad man.
Yeah.
Come on, ring the bell, because that was worth it. Well done.
Oh, Simone, Alex and Regan are all in the running for Nova's 10K day in May. Could get the call back to Savo.
$250 voucher to spend at Bailey Nelson Aussie Eyewear. Check it out, everybody. It's going to go to Simone, actually. She's honest and she's the culprit.
She was the worst out of all of them. What are you
Simone's the one
talking
that
about?
flew to the dark of night.
And why do you reckon I gave it to her?
Simone's a monster.
But you
Oh,
know
just
what?
like you.
And Simone, listening, monsters have a place here always.
That's right. That's right.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
The star of just about everything. You can hear him on
Or not.
a podcast on the Nova Network.
Yeah.
It's obviously his highest accolade.
Yeah, it's called Shopping with Aunt Middleton.
And Nathan.
Star of SAS
Commercial
Australia and soon to be Dancing with the Stars and Middleton. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Listen, I'm dancing away already.
Yeah, I know.
Staying in the vibe.
When you got the rhythm in you.
Do you feel the beat within you?
Well, listen, I've got to admit, I did. I got horribly competitive
Sean.
on that show.
I know, but
so
that's not the same as being good at it.
No.
Were you good
yeah.
at it?
I'll let you be the judge. I'll let you be the judge very soon. Very soon.
Hey, Anne, I was interested to ask Ben Cousins if he was the type of person who would go out on a dance floor normally, right? So we're all going to the pub
Yes.
and we just had a couple of jars. Would
Or you're
you
at a wedding.
normally
Yeah.
jump out on the dance floor?
I used to, but now I'm one of those that sit back and just, play it cool, but not being cool because I actually want to get on the dance floor and make a fool of myself.
But back in the day, would you be a person that would just like you do like a bit of breakdancing?
Yeah, I think so,
You would
yeah.
pick
In
a
my
style
head,
and you would like.
Bit of Michael Jackson,
Yeah, of
a bit of
course.
body
Yeah.
popping,
Well, why wouldn't you?
Have you ever done a very enthusiastic worm that was so enthusiastic you smashed your
I
face
think
into the floor?
I think
'Cause,
we've all done the worm, haven't we? And I think I've got to give that accolade over here to Shane. Apparently, you are
Sean.
Sorry, Sean.
That's all right.
That's all right. His
Sean,
real
you
name's
busted
Shane.
your face up, didn't you?
Yeah, I got out of control on the Gold Coast one night and thought
Happens to the best of us.
there was a circle going on which my mate started, and he created the circle at the nightclub, and I thought, being a good teammate, that you'd come in and support that circle that he created. And the flying caterpillar doesn't normally work too well when you've had 1,000
Oh, I've
beers.
not heard of the flying caterpillar.
Yeah.
Right, so that's something you made
There's
up
a
on the
reason
spot.
they don't fly.
You've got to be careful about dancing because it's dangerous. I nearly killed a woman. I was at a nightclub one night. Back
That
in the
doesn't
day,
surprise me.
back in the day, Ant, when you used to think there's a podium, I'm going to dance on it because people need to see what I can do. I couldn't do much, but I ended up getting. And the podium, it was like scaffolding. It was like it felt like it was a couple of stories high. Anyway, I'm dancing up there. There's this other girl dancing next to me, and I'm dancing, and she's dancing, and I'm dancing, she's dancing. I'm looking at her, she's looking at me. Then I did a bit of a spin, then I turned back, and she's gone. And I just kept on dancing. I didn't really look down. She's on the ground. I'd knocked her
So
off
was
the
it a
podium.
spinning elbow? Was it more
took her out.
MMA than dancing?
His high kicks, really.
Or a combination of both.
Hey, what do they do about your partner? Because it is dancing is height based as well.
Yeah.
So do they pull all the little pocket dances out for you?
Look, I'm swinging my legs on the chair here. So, I am vertically challenged. That is a fact. Yes, they gave me a lady called Alexandra. She's Ukrainian, Australian, and she's a hard chick. She's like, she's tough mentally, physically, and with heels on, she's my size.
Yes.
So you can imagine. And also, everyone was like, Ant, just lift.
Yes,
You're strong.
'cause
just
obviously you're
lift,
gonna be able to
just
do that.
lift,
I feel
just
like you
lift.
could lift anything.
And but when you're lifting 24/7, 4 to 6 hours a day, every day, you start to realise, what have I got myself into?
Well,
you
the
drop her?
competitiveness you said comes into play, and which it does, which means that you're going to train longer than most people.
Yeah.
So, from a fitness perspective, I understand that everyone you just get you get fit as a fiddle. You're
Yeah.
sweating like a demon all the time.
Oh, all the time. Do you know what? The fitness side, I expected, but the word is intense. It was intense. The training
and
was intense.
brain intense too, because you're trying to remember the choreography.
You've got to be present with dancing. This is what I realised. You have to be in the moment, because if not, you just won't get it. You won't pick it up. You just go through the motions. You have to be really present and
you have got to have a good
What about
frame.
the other aspects of
Yes.
it though, like
Good
all of
frame.
the fake tan and the sequins?
Oh,
and
I
the
love doing that. I do
hairspray
that
and-
every weekend anyway. So listen, that was nothing for me. The costumes were tame compared to my weekend antics.
No, he would emerge from a pool of Bondi Sands. Just let it drip off him.
That's why I
just let the
signed
colours
up.
settle in.
That's why I signed up. Really, I was like, sequins makeup.
Exactly.
Hey, we in the entertainment industry sometimes are faced to do a lot of weird, different things that you're not prepared for. Dancing, of course, is one of them for you. The realities of saying yes to something. Fast forward the training and everything, and then let's go to you just about to walk out to do your first dance.
in front of judges.
That feeling. Talk to me about that feeling.
The first feeling was, you idiot. What are you doing? Look at yourself. You look like a fool. You know. No.
Your pants are up to your ribs.
Yeah, exactly.
What are with those tall dance
man?
pants?
Who is this thing that I'm looking at in the mirror? No, honestly, it was... I loved it. You know, I got into it.
So you didn't get scared? You didn't go... Because
yeah, you do.
I thought you would have that out-of-body feeling like, oh, my God, I'm about to go and dance. And can I remember it?
Yeah, you do, but there's no sort of pressure on myself because people look at me and I've got...
They're not expecting you to be good at it.
This from the very first dance, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to. On my first dance, my feedback was I looked like a dancing rhino.
Is that what you were going for?
Rhino.
So that's how I started, shall we say. So I was quite happy with the dancing because I was like, oh,
Yes.
it's saying
Yeah.
dancing. And then the rhino, and I sort of looked at myself, and you know when you look at yourself in the mirror and you think, yeah, I do look ridiculous, but
they're right about
I
the
do
horn.
look like a rhino. Yeah, exactly. And I'd like to Craig, be careful where I stick that horn, Craig. Be careful where I stick that horn. Be nice to me.
And it's such a full-on commitment too. How did you find... Because you've got to lock yourself down for a certain amount of time. How did you find
Absolutely.
yourself marking yourself off and spending all that time over here?
Yeah, you have to. It's 4 to 6 hours a day, Monday to Saturday. So you're just in the zone. You know, I got quite obsessive with it. I was just like,
It's
right,
like having a proper job.
Eat, sleep, dance. You know, back into the routine, and yeah.
Can you believe you're saying this?
What
Eat,
happened?
sleep,
What
dance.
happened to you at Middleton? What happened?
I don't know. I don't even recognise myself.
That's so good.
How is anyone going to respect you after this series?
Yes.
on,
That's right.
on,
Watch
SAS?
out. Listen, don't be fooled.
It's going to be a lot more dancing on SAS
be
Australia.
I just went out to go to the bathroom, and then when I came back in, I opened up the studio door. And can you smell Ant Middleton right now?
Smells
You've
like
gotten used to
success.
it. It is just a breeze of freshness.
Oh, thank you.
What is this? You're a very clean man.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm a stickler for personal administration, as we call it in the military.
Oh, yeah, administration.
So, yeah, personal administration, you know, showering, washing.
So how many times do you administer yourself a day?
Probably... breakfast show.
Put down the loofah, mate. So are you like, I'm smelling 3 times a day. I'm smelling a 3-shower
I'd
day.
say at least in the morning and when I go to bed. Then if I have a work, I'd probably say about 3 times a day.
You can smell it
It's a
3
real
times.
military
huh?
thing. We had a guy that I worked with for many years. His name was John Rankin. He's an absolute superstar if he's listening. But he was always well groomed, always well presented, and as you said,
Clean beard.
clean as.
Oh, what about the
Because
times?
beards aren't always
you
clean.
learn.
Have you ever had to tell one of your fellow soldiers that they stink?
Multiple times. You get some. Yeah, it does, especially when you're on exercise.
Yeah, well, I can't
You know,
imagine.
but no, even on exercise, you get the baby wipes. There's no excuse.
If you're
to
in the
not-
deserts of Afghanistan, you're
sustainable,
saying
your
that
hygiene.
it's really important to have some baby wipes on you.
Well, it's sustainability, isn't it? It's you can go 2-3 days without a shower, then your skin starts to maybe get rashes.
Oh, the build-up of ball grease is too much.
And I didn't want to say that, but that's
Never
the worst
say
bit.
those 2 words again.
What's wrong with you?
Is there an army-issued links or something?
Do you know what?
Links Afghanistan.
We need to chat after this.
Don't you think?
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Can you
Links
imagine?
camo.
Yeah.
But you can never
Yes.
find the can.
Yeah. We want to talk about Dubai. You're living in Dubai. It's
Yes.
it's just magical to us that you do this.
Yeah. So, and you were telling us you don't live in the centre of the town where we see the Burj Al Arab and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. There's other communities outside of the main area.
I live about 20 minutes outside. I can see the
is it a
skyline.
suburb?
It's like a suburb.
What's it
yes.
called?
It's
A
like
suburb?
it's called Al Barari.
Oh, it sounds lovely.
And it's like a tropical community. It's really strange because you drive out of Dubai, you sort of drive through the desert a little bit, and then you hit this big tropical community. It's amazing out there.
Do you sometimes think, am I home or is this a mirage?
No, listen,
You drive
sometimes
straight through it?
Do you
I
have
pinch
your
myself.
own
I
camel?
pinch myself.
Or are there camels just wandering around?
Do you know what? Where I live, funny you say that because there is. When I drive the kids to school on a school run,
Yes.
that you just drive through the desert and you can see the camels. So it's a bit surreal.
Is this basically...
There you go.
Is it as green as what we're seeing? We'll
there
put some
it
of
is.
these up on our socials.
And are you
There
in
it
a
is.
house?
That's my villa right
That's
there.
your house.
Come on, your villa wouldn't be that small. Hey!
Yeah, no. See the one down below.
Yes.
In the
which one?
middle.
Yeah.
No, in the middle.
Go in the middle.
No,
Down.
down.
Looking at apartments and big houses, everyone.
Down. Next one.
Next one over. Left, to the left.
To the left. That one. Yeah, that one there.
Yep.
There you go. That's
your house?
They're the same, exactly the same styles that we have.
It looks like there's a river going through. Is that man-made? If we look to the
there's
top
loads
right,
of rivers.
I think it's all man-made, isn't it?
It's all man-made.
Except for the dirt.
Exactly.
Does Dubai have that palm tree islands that are all set off there?
Yeah, the World Islands.
What are they like?
So they're in construction at the moment, but they've done like a World Islands where it represents every country in the world. They just go big. They're just extravagant. They're futuristic.
Where are they getting their water from? Because they have very lush golf courses and all the rest of it, and you go they've got to get that water from somewhere.
It's in Dubai. They just got bottles of Evian. They're just like tipping it on the lawn.
No, that's what I bathe in. I
can smell the Alps.
You can smell.
Hey, just for everybody out there, what does a litre of petrol cost?
You know what? It's so cheap. I don't even know, because you pull up and there's someone there that puts your petrol in.
Yeah,
and
and they don't even advertise the price.
Oh no, it's a bank card. Sorry,
Yeah.
I've got this card that I tap, and no.
Yeah, that's right.
You get the help fill up the car anyway.
I cannot with him.
Yeah.
No, listen, I've got 5 children, so my bank card normally declines every single time.
Hey, this is a serious question, because I know that Dubai sometimes has windstorms. Are you sweeping sand up a lot?
Do you know what? There is sand in the air, yes. And when you look at the skyline from where it's normally just got that dusty sand, sort of haze over it. So there's a lot of sand. Do you know what? It's got its pros and cons, but listen, at the end of the day, it's a nice, safe place. I love the desert. I've operated a lot in the desert, and I just love the freedom of driving the kids to school, looking out your window, and just seeing nothing. Nothing.
Or
and
a
like
camel.
I said, the odd camel.
And what about when
going into the bright lights?
Of course, Dubai hit the news when the floods hit. So that torrential rain that may or may not have been from cloud seeding in Africa.
Yeah.
And I was stranded in Europe because of it. Were you in Dubai at the time?
Yes, I was.
What was that like?
Do you know what? It's a bit surreal, actually, because it's a bit like the UK. When a bit of snow hits the UK, the country shuts down. It's like that with Dubai, because it's not used to such downfalls like that.
Well, with so much sand, there'd be so much mud.
God,
And
you can imagine everything was blocked.
More than a year's worth of rain in a single day.
That's right.
It was torrential at the time, I imagine.
Yeah, really bad. And again, you talk about the sands, you talk about blockages, and God, everything just blocked up, and the whole city was underwater. But to be fair to them, we were on the outskirts, so it didn't really affect us. But I went in probably 2 or 3 days later, and talk about Operation Cleanup. God, everyone chipped in. The ruler put out a big sign on the motorways, which he doesn't really do, just thanking all the expats, because everyone came together.
Did you help clean?
Yeah,
What did you do? Did you shovel some sand up?
Yeah,
Got a bucket?
I was there, blocking doorways, and there's a family across the road that the husband was away, so we went and all helped out. It was really good, because my children even helped out. They were rinsing out towels, and it did bring the whole community together, and it just goes to show that when we all chip in, we can get the work done, so it was really cool.
One last question. In Dubai, is there a bottle shop around that you can go to? Because it's one of those places where you're dry. So what do you do with that
I
stuff?
love that. You can, don't get me wrong, there's restaurants.
Is there a thirsty
and
camel?
hotels. You need a liquor license. You need to be able to buy alcohol and take it back to yours. You need a liquor license.
Oh, you need that to buy it, not to sell it. Yeah, right.
But then there's restaurants, hotels that you can drink at. It's not
No RSL that you can pop into?
No. Unfortunately not. But I say unfortunately not, but I love that.
Yeah, cool.
I love that, that it's got that sort of, you don't have to have a drink to socialise.
Yeah, that's
it's
cool.
that sort of mentality.
Oh, imagine.
So,
You've lost Sean, I'm afraid. Before we let you go, we better plug everything that you're involved in. Okay, so we've got Dancing with the Stars coming in a few weeks' time, right?
Yes.
You've got a podcast on the Nova Network called
Head Game.
Yep. You've got a book coming out.
That's been very helpful with my social life. Thank you.
I saw the side eye eye there. I thought so,
I can't believe you go that into specifics.
SAS Australia will
You're
be
my
coming
next guest.
soon.
Yes, correct.
Books, what do we got?
Yes, so I've got a new book coming out in the UK called Military Mindset.
Oh, wow.
So it will no doubt make an appearance here in Australia.
What number's that?
So that is number 6 of non-fiction, yes.
Okay.
And anything else? Does that cover it off?
And then I've got a tour in the UK as well.
Okay.
I've just done
if
one
you
here
got-
in Oz,
Yeah.
so I'm taking over to the UK October, November time. So, that's why I live in Dubai. I can
What
just
time's
bounce
your
between the UK and
overachievers anonymous
Australia.
meeting?
Wow. It's, you know what? It's very rare you come across a real career woman. And we've got one here. We've got one here in the important
And
girl
she can
clicky shoes.
Dance. Thanks for
Ann.
coming in, Anne.
No,
It's
thanks
always
for
a
having me.
pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.